everyone, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today is day 14 of Inktober. We have made it 2 whole weeks. Yay! If you've been participating as well, you need to give yourself a pat on the back. It's quite an accomplishment. Today's prompt is Overgrown. For this one, I immediately had an idea of doing either a poison ivy type character or taking a page from Greek mythology and doing a dryad. Although now that I think about it, I could have kept the Skyrim theme going and did a Spriggan. Hindsight is 20/20 sometimes, guys. But I did decide on doing a Greek mythology based piece. I specifically chose the myth of Daphne. I've always taken myths like this where someone is transformed into something else as a mean of escape as being kind of representative of how sometimes you need to make a change to bring positivity into your own life. That's probably just myself looking into it far too much. But I guess now maybe I should talk about the actual drawing process a little bit. Maybe. We'll see. I am still using the same paper I have been using in a lot of the other Inktober projects. It is Strathmore toned mixed media paper in the color blue. It looks more gray on camera to me, and in person, it's supposed to be blue. It's called blue. I like using this as the mid-tone for a lot of these pieces, especially with ink. It makes it a lot easier to go lighter and darker, and it saves a little bit of extra work and time. I also just appreciate how the finished results have been looking when I've been using this paper versus some of the other ones as well. And what's funny about this is I got this in the August Premium sketch box, and after I started using it for these projects, I bought a bigger pad of it so that I would have more than enough paper to carry me through Inktober and then possibly to beyond. As you can see through the sketching process, I started with a mechanical pencil. It ran out of lead, so I decided to switch to my handy dandy ebony pencil. I love these pencils. I don't use them as much as I used to, and every time I use them again, I just remember how much I enjoy them. For this one, I definitely did spend a decent period of time in the sketching process. I was trying to figure out how I wanted the pose to look, and how I wanted her body to integrate into tree bark, and her being kind of this tree goddess. I also wanted to add a horizon line with some grass to give a little bit of an idea of depth, and her not just floating in space. I'm really bad about just drawing things kind of floating. I like the aesthetic for certain things, but I'm trying to be a little bit better about it and think a little bit about a background versus just drawing a character and going with it. Basically, I'm trying to put a little bit more thought into these smaller, quicker pieces versus me just kind of being like, ooh, this will be fun, and then just doing it. There is slightly more planning and reasoning in this one than a lot of the previous projects for Inktober. I do want to take a moment and point out how amazing pencil extenders are. I have them more for colored pencil work, because I have some very stubby colored pencils. And this ebony pencil, even though I don't use them as frequently now, I used to use them constantly. So having that pencil extender definitely extends the life of your pencil. For this one, I definitely wanted to line it with some ink before I got into some of the ink washes. I did not want to lose the outline of that sketch that I just spent a lot of time on. And I am again using my favorite new pen, which is the Copic drawing pen in FO2. This came in October's sketchbox, and I love it. It is my favorite. I shall use it forever and ever until I randomly change my mind. I'm probably gonna have to buy a couple of these later. I did see some concerns while browsing art YouTube about these ripping through paper. I have not had that issue as of yet. If I'm having issues with the ink flow, I just take it on a separate piece of paper or cardboard and press down hard there and allow it to flow and then go back to the piece. Granted, the only papers that I've really been using this on have been this mixed media paper, and I've also been testing it on some Strathmore marker paper. I haven't really played with it with watercolor paper yet, or with a thinner kind of paper. This mixed media paper is fairly thick so that it can hold a little bit of wet media better. But if you've used this pen, let me know in the comment section down below if you've had any issues with the paper ripping. I'm really curious to find out. Now I'm using a water brush and pulling in some of that Speedball White Ink. This is the project that finally killed the Speedball White Ink I have. And when I was going to buy backups, I could not find any of the same Speedball type of ink. I ended up buying some Liquitex acrylic ink, and I ended up buying that ink because I have the muted gray, and I really liked how it flowed, so I figured even if it's a different color, for the most part, it should apply the same. We'll find out probably tomorrow. I did make a conscious effort with this project to keep it a lot lighter than most of the projects I've done lately. A lot of the ones I've been doing lately have a lot of deep, dark blacks, and it takes up most of the piece. For this one, I wanted it to be softer and lighter and more ethereal looking. And I laid down my base layers of white with the white ink, and now after washing off the brush tip, I am switching to the liquid black ink that I have. Also the Speedball one. I did still want some deep blacks in this piece, I just didn't want it to overtake it like with a lot of the previous ones. Also for the leaves, I'm going very impressionistic with it. I'm just doing a lot of dots and little shapes. Not drawing out each leaf. I actually really liked how this looked. I think it added to the softness I was going for. I also wanted the beauty of it to be kind of alien. I wanted her to look like she was transforming into a tree or was already part tree. I didn't want her to look too human. At this point in the drawing, I had just added in some little strokes to insinuate long grass behind her. Also, towards the bottom, I wanted the roots to kind of feel a little bit like it's a long dress as well. I was trying to do multiple things at the same time and give insinuations of things without overly doing it. Even though there is still a lot of texture involved in this one, I was trying to take a little bit of a step back compared to the previous two I just did, where it was texture overload. Still had fun doing it. I still think they turned out alright, but I wanted to pull it back just a little bit. I start bringing in a Uniball Signo in white to help bring in a lot more white textures and to add some brighter highlights. I also bring in the same Kuretake's marker that I've been using throughout a lot of this. Once again, don't know what the model is because it's all in Japanese. I'm bringing in this marker to help further define certain areas and to get some thicker black lines in here. I am surprised that this marker is still working because I have been using it quite a bit and it has not shown any signs of drying up. Another thing that's nice about this marker is if you add a little bit of water, like I just did with the water brush not too long ago, you can soften up lines. While it is not dry, it can definitely be malleable. I will eventually have to do a test later where the ink is dry and then go over it with water to see what happens. This is one of the markers I have not tested that yet with. At this point in the drawing, I am just doing a lot of extra line work. I'm pulling in that Copic Maka pen again in order to get some thinner black lines. For this project, I did not pull in a thicker white paint marker like I have been. No Posca pen this time. I only wanted to use the white gel pen for this one because I wanted those lines to be dainty. Speaking of which, that white gel pen is still on the brink of being completely empty. I'm apparently going to try to use it until it is completely empty and then buy another one. I used to have a really bad habit of overbuying supplies that I really liked. Like, I would buy a 10-pack of a pen if I liked it so I wouldn't run out. Now I try to be better about that and use up something until it's gone, especially if I like it. And sometimes, even if I don't. I had a lot of fun with this project. Heck, I've been having fun with all of Inktober so far. It's been a great way to play with ink in a bunch of different ways and test out different kinds of supplies and different ways of using it. Also, with having the word prompts, especially with certain ones, it's been making me think harder and have to plan out a little bit better what I'm making. So even though I'm still drawing a lot of faces, so I'm not just drawing faces and eyeballs. I've expanded my horizons quite a bit thus far, and I'm sure that's part of the point. Well, this project here is almost done. I'm just getting some finishing touches here. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, or concerns, or you want to tell me what you've been doing for Inktober and what supplies you've been using, let me know in that comment section down below. If you want to see more Inktober videos, please feel free to subscribe. I do want to take this time to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video and listen to me ramble about art stuff. I really appreciate it. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon, and you will definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!